Okay, so let's discuss about one interesting topic. We now know that how integers are stored in the memory, but let's now discuss how characters are stored in the memory. This is going to be interesting because integers can be stored very easily in the memory, right? Because we just need to convert them into binary, and we know how we can convert integer into the binary, and then we can store their binary in the memory. That's it. What about the characters? How we can store characters in the memory? Characters don't look like integers. Characters looks like this, like small a, capital A, @ This is how the character looks, right? How we can convert these characters into binary? Because we know this, that whatever you are going to store in the memory, it's going to be in the binary. So even the character needs to be converted into binary. So how we can convert the characters into the binary? How the characters are converted into the binary and get stored in the memory? So for this, there is very interesting table, or there is very interesting concept that is being used by almost all the programming languages, which is called as ASCII table. Okay, see, the full form for ASCII table, I'll just tell you the full form. So it goes like this: American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, so what is the full form? American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So basically, this is the standard table, this is the standard code which is made by one institute, and this standard table is used by all the programming languages. So what is this table? So in this table, in this ASCII table, there is a mapping for character with a decimal value. So there is a mapping of characters with the numbers. So you can see there is one table on your screen. Let's observe few characters in this table. So you can see over here we have capital A. Okay, and you can see for this capital A, there is a decimal value associated, which is 65. For capital B, it is 66. For capital Z, it is 90. Then you can see over here for small a, we have a decimal value which is 97, right? You can see even for the space, see, this space is also considered as one character. For space, we have a decimal value that is 32. Now let's say I want to store small a into the memory. Let's say I want to store small a character in the memory. So what compiler of C++ is going to do, instead of storing small a into the memory, it is going to store 97 in the memory. And that's the reason whenever we discuss about how much size a character variable gets, in that video we saw that the range of the character is -128 to +127. The reason behind this range is because in the characters, the integer values get stored. Even if the variable looks like a character variable, but internally what is getting stored? Internally the integer values are getting stored, and that's why when we talk about the range of the character variable, it's going to be -128 + 127. Why it is -128 to +127? Because the character variable is of 1 byte size, and in the previous video we have seen how the range is derived to be -128 to +127 when we have variable of 1 byte size, or when we have variable of 8-bit size. If you still don't have clarity on this number, maybe you can revisit the previous video and you will get more idea about it, or you will just kind of refresh your concept. Okay, so this is how the characters are stored. How characters are stored? So for each and every character there is one decimal value. So instead of storing the character into the memory, that decimal value will be converted to the binary, and that binary value will be stored in the memory. And this standard table that we have over here is called as ASCII table. Okay, and this table is used by literally everyone, like literally every programming language. Now actually there's one drawback of this table. I'll just tell you what is the drawback. If you observe this table very carefully, you can see all the characters which are present in this table are just English alphabets. But nowadays, if you have seen modern programming, modern computation, then we also have additional characters than these characters. Like let's talk about Hindi language. So in Hindi language, you have characters like, let's say, something like this. Okay, so this character is not present in this ASCII table. Let's say you have Chinese language. So maybe in Chinese language you have some character like this. See, I don't know Chinese, so I'm not sure about the characters, but maybe you have some character like this. Let's say you use emojis, right? You use smileys or something. You have some smiley like this. Okay, so even this smiley is also one character in modern computation. this ASCII table doesn't support characters from other languages, other natural languages, and that's a major drawback of this ASCII table, and that's why we have a replacement for this ASCII table in our modern computation or in our modern programming, and that replacement is called as Unicode. Okay, it's called as Unicode. So Unicode is a new code which is replacement for ASCII code, and Unicode has almost all the possible characters of the universe. So in Unicode you will find characters from all the languages, you also find smileys and everything. Okay, so for Unicode in C++ also you have support for Unicode. For Unicode, if you want to deal with Unicode, or if you want to store characters like this in C++, you cannot use normal char data type. You cannot use normal char data type because normal char data type supports ASCII. It's made for ASCII code, right? So if you want to go for Unicode, if you want to deal characters like this, then there is additional data type in C++ which is called as wide character, which is written as W_char. So this wide character data type is responsible for dealing with Unicode, and with the help of this data type you can store values which are like something like this, something like this, something like this. Okay, this was just an additional info. In our day-to-day programming we barely care about these kind of values, but if you are actually getting some real-time project on C++, then maybe you will need to consider about this data type. Maybe you can go online and read more about this data type. Just try to find out how much storage these data type variables are going to get and what different values this data type is going to store. You can also go online and read more about the Unicode, what was the time when this was invented and all about that.